He's Russell and wrangled, worked every angle, tussled, got on the side. Was it Dallas or Denver? He can't remember the last time he had a good ride. He swears he ain't nervous, he's losing his purpose each day, trailing behind. He's beat up and broken, half-hearted, hoping he can circle the sun one more time. What he misses the most is chasing that high, wandering aimless neath the big western sky. He's stuck in a rut with nowhere to roam. What's a cowboy to do when he has to ride home? Boots in the corner, hat hangs in the foyer. Each day is coming fine. Slowing down faster now that he's out to pasture, which ain't quite what he had in mind. What he misses the most is chasing that high, wandering aimless neath a big western sky. Stuck in a rut with nowhere to roam. And what's a cowboy to do when he has to ride home? Stuck in a rut, nowhere to roam. And what's a cowboy to do when he has to ride home? Thank you.
We are live here at the HonkyTalk podcast. Welcome to the Sundown, everyone. Welcome, Bo, and who's this guy? Who's this guy over here?
Hey, I'm Dane von Hagen, and I'm Canadian.
Welcome, Dane. It is a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. It's been a long-awaited time because the show has been airing for 3 weeks.
It's our fourth.
This is our fourth.
Yeah, so this is our fourth air, and we have a special guest, 4 times the charm, Mr. Dane von Hagen, all the way from Canada.
Oh,
Y'all give it up. Y'all give it up for Dane.
Dane.
So anyway, well, welcome, bro. How are you?
Thank you, guys. I'm doing really good. It's good to be back. It's good now. Yeah.
Yep. So we met probably a couple years ago, and at Enoch's.
That's right. Yeah, Enoch's. I got invited to go play with Monty Russell, the post party for the Nella Music Awards.
That's right.
And I was looking up on the wall, and there was a picture of Rick Danko up there. And I don't know if you guys know who Rick Danko is.
Of course, bass player extraordinaire.
Yeah, for the band
What
called
band?
The Band.
Oh,
The band.
The Band, yeah, with Mr. Levon Helm,
Yeah.
Robbie Robertson, and Garth, and all the crew. And I was thinking, man, what should I play? You know, like if I'm going to hit the stage, what am I going to play?
Was it the weight?
And so I went up and I saw Rick Danko as I was walking up on the wall, and I was like, I'm going to do the weight, and I did, and everybody was like, hurrah!
Yeah, it was amazing.
And right after that, this guy was packing up and heading out to the parking lot, and I just went to compliment him. In about 30 seconds, we had a little conversation, but everything that I said, he was like, me too. And everything that he said, I was like, well, me too. And so that was the beginning of my relationship here with Mr. Trey.
Aww.
And, it was kind of
Yeah, we
cute.
go way back.
It was kind of cute. And the next time I texted him, he's like, man, I'm down in New Orleans. I was like, okay, well, we'll get together soon. And then he's like, bro, somebody just got shot right in front of me.
Yeah, no.
It'll happen in New Orleans.
And I thought, man, I love it here.
Yeah, it was wild, but it was so cool to meet you over the last couple of years and just have that relationship. But one of the things we like to ask on our special guest, is how'd you get started in music, and kind of what are some key parts in that journey that kind of stand out to you?
Well, it all started, there's like this one night, my parents were like really social, would always have people over, and I just loved like that dynamic sitting at the table when someone would tell a story. My dad was really good at telling stories, and like I picked up at a young age, like the whole room, the energy would just shift and everybody would be focused in on that one person. And I just loved that. And then one night, my dad went to the closet and pulled out this black box, and I was like, what the heck is that? I didn't know we had that in the house. It was hidden behind some jackets, and he pulls out an old Fender Newporter from the 80s, acoustic guitar, rosewood, and he starts playing Taking Care of Business. You guys know that song?
Oh, yeah.
How does it go again?
Taking care of business
Every day,
taking care of business
every way.
taking care of business. Yeah.
It's all mine. And but man, like I thought it was cool when people told a story, and then all this guitar thing was going on, and everybody like honed in and started singing along. The whole room, the energy shifted, and I just remember going up to my dad and saying like, I want to do that, And so we made a deal: for every $1 that I saved, he would match it and double it. So he'd put $2 in the piggy bank every time I put $1 in. So I came up with $30 as 11 years old. He put $60 in.
Right.
We found a guitar that was for sale for $100, and my dad taught me how to negotiate in that moment. We went down to the basement of this guy's guitar. He's like, $100. My dad's like, told me before we go in, when he says 100, you pull 90 out of your pocket and say, I got 90.
Did it work?
It worked, yeah. So I got this little Nova electric guitar, and if I learned this whole little beginner music book, he'd put me in guitar lessons, and the rest was history. So that was at 11 years old. I'm 29 now, and just about every year since I was 11, it's just been the one thing I can't get away from. I've tried to get away from music, but I'll just self-sabotage until I got no other options. So, I got to stick with it.
I know what you're talking about, self-sabotage. I picked P's for my first guitar.
Yeah?
Yep. It didn't even have a name. Like, the name was halfway off of it.
Yeah.
Got it at a pawn shop in Ruston.
Yeah.
Mott Cliff or something. I don't know what it was. Had one little single coil pickup.
Yeah.
It was about that wide, like a 2 inches wide.
Little thin thing.
Yeah. And this old 60s amp.
Oh, damn.
Out of tune.
Yeah.
I made like $15, $20, I guess. I probably paid about $30 for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still got it at the house.
Do you? Oh, man, I've been trying to hunt down that one. I sold it to a friend in high school, and then he got rid of it, and I haven't been able to find it, but it's out there somewhere. Anybody watching, if you got a black Nova 3/4 size electric guitar with the white and black pickguard, you just give me a call, all right? My number is... Just kidding. I
was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, go ahead, Dane. You can blast it out there.
I mean, it must be real lonely.
You don't
Yes, I
have
am.
to be lonely. But anyway,
Croon for me, baby.
so tell us a little bit about your music journey, Dane. We got your spark. What started it all, and kind of, people know you a little bit around here local. You're kind of a local legend now. Here in Ruston and amongst other places, but what are some things that you've done, like in the last 15 years?
Yeah, well, there's a few things, but first of all, it's a privilege and an honor to just be down here with you guys and playing, and to be considered in your eyes, a bit of a local legend. And
It's in all our eyes.
I don't see it that way. I see myself as like the prodigal son. You know, I just leave and I come back, and everybody still loves me.
Yeah. You made a stamp over here from the first visit.
Yeah, well, he went international. You know.
Yeah.
It's not but it's not the first time, but it's very cool, man.
Yeah. Well, I started out. I guess the biggest thing was like when I was 16, I got a drum kit, and within 24 hours of having that drum kit, my dad booted me out of the residential vicinity, and he had a warehouse with an old office from the 60s. And he's like, if you're going to play the drums, you got to play drums out there. So that was the beginning, and we called it the band room. And that became like the hub for every stoner, musician, hippie, lost soul. Everybody in my community would always come out to the band room. And man, that's where we learned everything that we weren't supposed to learn, and how to make all the mistakes, and play every wrong chord. And my dad had a rule, you know, it's like, as long as you're playing music out there, you know, I'm okay with anything. But if there's no music playing, like, then he'd be on our ass. So every single time it was like, oh, there's the truck's pulling up, and we'd be just jamming out. He never told us to turn it down, not once. And that turned into a few different bands. We had a band called Ripple was the very first band, and then we had a band called Tree Folk, a band called Poser, just all these little high school bands.
Yeah.
And then when we graduated high school, we realized we wanted to try to take it, you know, professional. We started a band called Private Drive. That was my first country project. We won a radio contest and got to play a few big shows for a couple thousand people. And then I started a real party rock and roll band. It was a self-sustaining party. It was a business designed around partying from 19 to 25, and we toured extensively coast to coast across Canada. And at the tail end of that, I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to sustain this. I don't want to end up like Vince Neil.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No offense to Vince Neil, he was amazing, but I don't want to be old. I want something that, you know, whether I'm 80 years old or 25 or 30 years old, that I can do well. So that's when I decided to start spreading my wings. That band at the time, we had 3 songs on Hockey Night in Canada, radio play, and we were looking at some major success. But I knew that if I was going to go down that path, it wouldn't be too pretty. So I started writing cowboy poetry, and one of my cowboy poems got me an opportunity in Los Angeles and Hollywood. Went down and worked on some music for a film called Peacemaker with the wonderful Miss Graylin Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's first granddaughter. And that was amazing. Spent 6 months down there. Came up to Canada waiting for some more stuff to happen with the movie. It ended up in a lawsuit. And in that time, my second mom, Heather Vanderbriggen, she had some friends down here that were having a wedding. So I got asked to come down and play at the wedding. And in those 7 days, this story wraps right around, but that was when I ended up at Enoch's, and I met this guy. And I was introduced to Monty Russell, and he decided he wanted to do a country record with me. And so I spent about a year down here with you guys, and then just this last 5-6 months, I've been up in Canada, working on the pipeline and the oil patch, saving all my money, giving it to the Department of Homeland Security, got my business license. Man, 70% of every paycheck was like, okay, USA, you got it. Yeah. And yeah, now I'm back, and hopefully in the next few months I'll be able to launch my first ever solo project under the title Dane von Hagen. That is me, who I am, and it's going to be a little bit of a honky-tonk, free-spirited, classic sounding, a little bit of rock and roll in there. We got 4 songs started. Gonna finish those 4 songs, and then I might try to do something else. Like I might do 4 more. I love Bo Atkins style. I want to do some southern rock and roll stuff. I'm keeping it super open-ended. Whatever sticks. You know, my good buddy Cameron Dahl. Shout out to him. But he's trying to figure me out these last few months, and he said, "Oh, I get it, Dane. You're like a magnet. Whatever sticks."
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, that's why you fit in, because we're kind of the same way. We don't. There's some sort of method behind the madness, or there might not be a method, but there's something that you want to do. Some people call it a dream or an aspiration or something, but really it's just something that you've obviously nurtured. Go back to nurtured from the first episode. But you obviously nurtured this love for music and also the adventure of it. And so I got to ask you this one about the adventure part and moving around like you have and things. So when you came down here for a wedding, is kind of what got you down into Louisiana. How was that? Because you hear all the time about in our southern border and what we're dealing with now we've dealt with it for a long time. It's not just what's going on now; it's been going on, but they're taking extensive measures to kind of shut that down and those people coming over and stuff. What I found when they told me that I said, "Where's Dane been?" and all that. They said we had to go back to Canada. Now, why'd you have to go back? Did you have to go back because of legal things, or why'd you have to go back?
Yeah, so
this last time.
I've been working really hard with my honesty and integrity in all areas of my life, and I just wanted to make sure that I was doing this thing right. And previously, I was, labeled as an amateur musician down here on vacation, learning about the Louisiana music scene. But it was very obvious that in no time, it was going to become a business. And so the most important thing to me was to make sure I was doing it the right way so that if opportunities come, that I can capitalize on them and I can do it in good faith. And so I went back to Canada and I got all the paperwork and everything so I can,
become a citizen or have
well,
a
yeah,
business.
so I'm
or be able
considered
to-
a non-immigrant
Gotcha.
Canadian businessman
Okay.
that is legal to operate in all 50 states.
Cool.
Yeah. And so that was a huge step for me because, as creatives, we're not necessarily the most business-minded people
or even the best rule followers.
or the best rule followers.
And tomorrow is tax day, and I need to go see my CPA.
Yeah, but no, I want to do things the right way, and I love this country, and I hope I can set an example for other musicians and other people that want to pursue the land of opportunity, right? Because there is avenues in which you can do it the right way, and if you do that, the people here will do nothing but love and respect you. And I think there's a huge political divide in the sense of, like, if you're from out of the United States, they're not going to like you. No, they just want you to do things the right way.
That's the media putting all that out.
Yeah, it's fake news. Yeah,
The media puts that out. I mean, the people are the people.
yeah,
It don't matter what the government's doing. I mean, the people are the people.
yeah.
We don't have nothing against. I mean, if you like a country that comes over here and want to attack us, we got that against them. But hey, we ain't got nothing against Canadian or
Amen.
Mexicans or
Right on.
anybody else. It's just crazy.
And we're so fortunate because, like, the way it's all set up is the American Federation of Musicians works hand in hand with the Canadian Federation of Musicians. And if you work with them, their lawyers handle everything. It's all just a fast track. You get the money in their hand, everything's going to be okay. And so a huge shout out to the American Federation of Musicians for being willing to work with the Canadian Federation.
How did you find out about that? Was that something that you sought after, or you figured
Yeah.
out? Oh wow, there's this organization that does that.
Yeah, I talked to about 2 or 3 different lawyers and friends and other musicians, and I found out real fast that the best way to get everything started is to get in touch with the American Federation of Musicians, become a member with the Canadian Federation, and then you have your locale, which would be a smaller little federation just for your community in Canada, and you go through the steps, and they help you right along, and it's a beautiful experience, and I encourage anybody who has aspirations to play music anywhere in the world to take the chance and to do it the right way, because the real motive for me to be here right now is so many people and so many musicians complain about not having enough gigs, not having the support they need. And that's your own damn fault, because you got to be where the culture supports your trade. I'm not going to work drilling rigs and live downtown Los Angeles. Right?
Right.
And so,
Right.
so you got to go where the culture loves live music, where the culture supports live music, where you have friends, where you have people that are doing it for a living. And I found this place, and it took me a couple years, but I found this place, and then I was willing to do just about whatever it took to make it happen. And here we are today.
That's awesome.
Well, when you get hungry and you decide you're going to play music for a living or whatever you want to do for a living, if you're going to leave, that's what that's what you got to do. You got to take a chance. If you just sit there on the couch all day, you're not gonna accomplish anything.
I come from a big hunting family. My dad would always say, "You ain't gonna shoot a moose sitting on the couch." Now you might not shoot a moose out in the bush, but you got a way better chance of it.
In Canada, it might just bust in through your house. And,
Yeah, or through your
Might be able
windshield
to
if you're driving in the middle of the night.
So the first time I met you, I think it was at White Lightning. Yeah, I was like, "Who's this sketchy Josie Wells looking joker coming in here?"
That's a good description.
And then after I got to meet him, got to know him, he bought me a shot or whatever tequila, and then he got to playing, and I was like, "Damn, he's a great musician." I mean, I'm talking about professional. I was like, "Why ain't he famous?" I mean, every show, like, we've all played together or whatever, I've always been amazed.
Hey, thank you, Bo.
I sit back here in the corner, playing my little old rhythm, singing or whatever. I'm like, damn, I'm glad he's here to back me up.
Well, if it's in the cards, being famous, I'm sure would be all right. But for me, I want to have a legacy, and that legacy comes with the story.
Well, you fell in with all of us really quick. Like, you clicked with all of us. We just embraced you and come in, and it's just.
Well, and I got to say, everywhere I went, every musician I played with, it seemed like I had to tend to their style of music, to their way of playing, to their community.
Well, it's not only about music; it's your personality and the person you are. It's not. I mean, it's not like us saying, "Oh, this guy's great. We need to ride his coattail or need him to play at our shows." It's more of the person you are.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Because like, since I got to know you, man, hell, we've missed you since you've been to Canada, and we've been waiting on you to come back for a long time.
I've been waiting to get back here too, and I just got to say, the community here was the community that took me as I was, and I was able to do exactly what I wanted to do musically, and be supported and not like pushed or molded in a different direction. It was like, you guys see me for who I am. And that's important too. If you're going to pursue a career in anything, you need to be with people that build you up, don't put you down, and they see you for who you are.
And if they do put you down, don't let it get you down.
Yeah.
You just keep progressing and you move on and you do it.
Exactly, yeah. And I call it the process of elimination, right?
Yeah.
I used to get super frustrated because I'd be going and I'd have one idea of how things are supposed to go, and they wouldn't work out that way. And then somebody sat me down one day and said, "Don't be down about that. It's the process of elimination. It's a scientific fact. You look at any scientific process, you're literally eliminating things, and everything you eliminate is one step closer to finding the right thing, right?"
That's right, and you'll find it.
Amen. Well, hey, let's cheers
Seek,
to that, fellas.
and you shall find.
Cheers, brothers. Don't drink that.
I ran out.
Hey, but look, guys. Dane, again, thank you for being here, and it's been such a pleasure to have you back. Just here back at home, but super special. But speaking of specials, I believe Sundown has a new special this week.
Yes, they do. Bo Atkins.
Yes, they do. That's that old pork belly BLT, which is fantastico. And in wrestling, that means fantastic. And we're here at the Sundown live right now. So thank God for the guys at Sundown. All the management and all the waitresses are very, very nice to us, and they've accommodated us. And we're here to tell you that on Mondays, you got to get the lunch special. And when y'all see this, y'all make sure y'all come by Sundown if you're in Ruston. Maybe you work at Patton's, maybe you work down there, you're a fireman, or you work somewhere, you get a lunch break, or work at a boutique downtown somewhere. Y'all come on over to hang out with us on the Sundown. Come see Chim, check it out what we're doing with the HonkyTalk podcast.
Sandwich, BLT.
And while we're giving shout-outs to our sponsor, I'd like to mention a future sponsor, Patton's, Ruston, Louisiana. Look at these hats that they make here.
Yes.
All right? Now, if you guys see this video, you tag and share Patton's, because we're looking for another sponsor.
That's right. That's right. So thank you.
You.
HonkyTalk podcast show.
Yeah. No, Honky's with a Canuck.
Merrick.
Well, we're back here at the Sundown for episode 4 with special guest Dane Von Hagen. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
All right, I want to hear some of your guys' stories. What's been going on while I was up in Canada?
Not much.
What happened recently?
Are you looking at me?
I'm looking at
Okay.
you.
Are you talking about this morning?
I feel. Look, you just. Yeah,
I had the look on my face when I walked in, didn't I?
you did, and
You can read me like a book since you've been gone, Dane.
Since you've been gone.
Since you've been gone. So here's the deal. So this morning, 8:30, I pulled into Chick-fil-A. I was like, well, I'll go to Chick-fil-A. And I was going to go to Chick-fil-A because it's on like a few businesses down from I bank at Red River Bank. Not credit union, Red River Bank. I get in line, but it's like way too long. And I know Chick-fil-A usually does pretty good. You know, gets the line through and all that, and you get your food and all that. Usually a pretty good time frame. But I was like, oh, man. So I said, well, I guess I'll go to McDonald's. So I go down the street to McDonald's. And like I said, I was wasting some quality wasting time because I knew we had to be here, meet up here and do this. And so I was like, well, I'll go to McDonald's. Get to McDonald's, sweet lady. Hey, have a blessed day. I said, oh, thank you so much. You have a great day. I said, oh, yeah, before I rolled through the pay window, I said, oh, yeah, can I get a few ice cubes in my small coffee? Because I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but McDonald's has like nuclear hot, like bomb coffee. Like it's the hottest coffee in the world. And I don't know why they make it so hot, but it's hot
It's
as
like 200 degrees.
at least. You can't even drink it. And I never understood that. Like, I don't like iced coffee, but I like a couple of cubes in there. Because if I drink coffee, it's not to like go, smell the roses for a beautiful day. I want to drink and go, boing, 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 rock and roll. Bam, there it is. She said, well, sure, we can get you a couple ice cubes in there. I said, thank you, ma'am. Again, you have a blessed day. I said, oh, you're so sweet. I get there to the pickup window. They've already got my food ready. They hand me the coffee first. And when they handed me the coffee, I'm in the car. Oh, yeah. I'm in the car. And they hand me the coffee. And when I grabbed the cup, my lid came off. And when I was setting it down, like to kind of put it down and like easily set it, the coffee spilt out all over my crotch. And I'm telling you right now, that's what happened to me this morning. I had khaki shorts on, and my inner thighs and my manly jewels and manhood are burning at this moment in time still right now. So it's 8:30 in the morning. So I look around, there's an academy, and I'm like, academy's open. I go into academy, looks like I done just pissed myself. I go in there, and the lady asked me, hey, sir, how you doing? Welcome to academy. How you doing this morning? I said, well, not too well, to be honest with you. And she was like, well, taken aback by a little bit. You know, she was, well, maybe you'll come in here and have a good day. I said, I hope so. I need some clothes. I just spilled coffee all over my nutsack. So there I was at academy. So this outfit that I bought is a brand new outfit today, brought to you by Academy Outdoor and Sports.
Well, look, it looks great.
So
And you're 30 years too late, because if that lady wouldn't have sued McDonald's years ago and got $2 million, you would be a millionaire right now.
all because I think it didn't say hot on the
But
cup.
now it does.
Yeah, it does now.
I know.
And I'm just letting you know, McDonald's coffee is very hot.
It's the hottest, and I even burnt my hand a little bit. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a delicate flower. Well, then I come in to Ruston when I get here. I still had a little time to pass. Now this is about, and I make it to Ruston. I made it to the bank. Did all my rat killing this morning that I needed to get done. So I start heading here, and I live about 50 miles out from here, west of here. And so I pull off on 167, and I notice Patton's is sitting right there. So I said, man, I ain't seen my Patton people in a while. Let me roll in there. Well, I roll in there, and I'm a creature of habit. So, like, if I don't do the same thing every day, I will lose. My whole life will be in shambles. I cannot deviate from the schedule, if you will.
I know what you mean.
So my keychain broke off my key. So I've been just using the key.
Oh, that's trouble.
See what I'm saying? Y'all already know where I'm going with this. I spent 15 minutes looking for my key after I spent like $80 on a Patton's Western Wear shirt. Shout out to Patton's Western Wear. Fantastic looking shirt. Spent $80 on a shirt. Got to talking to, what's it, Stacy up there?
I don't know. I ain't been there in a while.
Yeah. I was in there shooting the crap. He was like, "Oh man, how you been? You been playing any gigs?" Blah blah blah. I said, "Yeah, well, yeah. We were just kind of catching up. I was telling him what we were doing, promoting the HonkyTalk podcast." I can't find my key. Spent 15 minutes looking for that sucker. It was in my ignition the whole time.
Yep.
Oh shoot!
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I made it here, and we're doing good. And we got the Dane man here. We got the Canuck here, our friend. So I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dane, What was that night when y'all lost y'all skis over at the Rev? I'm like, listen, I will come get y'all. I'll come get y'all, and then all of a sudden, we found them.
Oh, we found them. Yeah, so we roll up to the Rev. There's a fraternity, sorority party going on. They'd rented the stage. They're doing karaoke. Our good friend Will was doing the karaoke, and the frat boys wanted us to come play a few tunes. So we roll in, we unload all the gear, getting ready to play, and then right before we're literally about to play, the owner comes up and goes, I don't know you.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the budget.
Yeah, we wasn't in the budget.
Yeah.
But y'all were going to
hell
play
broke
for
loose.
free.
So
though.
yeah, we were gonna play for free. But anyways, you know how it is.
It'd have been great.
It would have been, but so we're packing up, we're hustling and bustling, and I go out there. I've got the keys, and
Allegedly.
had the keys, and I open the door, and unbeknownst to my own self, I set the keys down in the back, and then I start throwing PA speakers and amplifiers and guitars and mic stands, and then we're about to go, and I hop in, and I'm like, boy, we are, screwed.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot find the keys. And the bar's closing down. Everybody's looking all over. We can't find nothing.
And all I had was gear in my truck.
Yeah,
I had one seat open.
One other vehicle with one seat.
Yeah.
And y'all aren't the smallest people ever either.
No.
I'm like, let me go. I got to thinking. I'm like, what the heck? I should just put all that stuff in the back of the truck and say, hey, get in.
Yeah.
But then I get halfway down the road, and y'all are like, well, we found the keys.
Yeah, so our last resort, we check all the pockets 15 times. We look everywhere, pull all the speakers out, and sure enough, sitting right there underneath one of the PA speakers, there's like a shining pot of gold.
Yep.
There's the keys.
We're getting home, boys.
That was a crazy night. We did the sound, the karaoke for the Rev and the sorority and fraternities. And we set up 3 mics. We thought they were going to be singing 3 at a time. There were 70 people
on stage at a time. Yeah,
Yep.
that's actually our subwoofer got busted that night.
Yeah, it got
Somebody
busted
stepped
that
on
night.
one of the
The stories are real.
Hey, so I got to tell a story. It's not like quite. It's not funny or nothing, but there's this spot in Canada. So I live I call it the real Wild West. It's like we're in the Canadian Rocky Mountains. There's no cell service. There's one police officer for like 1,000 square miles.
Sound like Shooter, Louisiana in 1990.
Yeah, no, it's like going back in time. And they have these gorgeous, gorgeous like hot pools so the glacial water causes cracks in the mountains when it freezes. And then when it melts, it goes down the cracks to the core of the earth into these pockets. It boils and then shoots back up and comes out of the side of a mountain. It's called a hot spring. And there's this hot spring in Canada called Lucier Hot Spring. And it's right on a river. So there's this gorgeous ice-cold river with these gorgeous pools of hot water. And when I go back to Canada, I go sit in that pool.
And pee.
Not usually, but at times.
He's probably in there naked when families come by, like that movie, Meet the Millers or whatever.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, there's definitely some nudity at times.
No, they was in the sewer.
But I go up there and I sit in that water, and I swear to God, if I just think about what I want to do when I'm down in Louisiana, then I can come back down here, and I don't really have to do it because it'll just happen. Now, I got a theory. Water is in the air.
Yeah.
It's in the sky. It's in the
our
ground.
body.
It's in our bodies. It might just be the closest thing to God that we can tangibly feel in the third dimension. Now, this, in my eyes, is the purest form of water. Now, that runs down. It goes down the Fraser River, down through Oregon, into the ocean, and circulates the whole world. So that water is absorbing my energetic frequency that I put out there, and it circulates the entire planet. Wow. Yeah, and then, boom, it just happens. So that is my little lesson on manifestation for today.
Amen.
There you go. See what I'm talking about?
And I was watching a documentary about water,
Yeah.
and they say it's just as alive as we are.
Mm-hmm.
And water's meant to flow, is what they were saying. Like flow through the creeks, flow through that. It gives it energy.
It does.
Of course, it's going to give it energy flowing.
Yeah.
But they were talking about the stagnant water in our drinking water, and in there. I mean, so now every time I run the water, I'll just sit there like, let me enhance this water's energy.
You got it, man. You got it. Well,
There
it's
you
no
go.
different than blessing your food before a meal. I mean,
Yeah.
don't tell me that after you bless your food that it doesn't taste better. Like, it's real. It's a real thing, man.
Yeah.
Yep, you got to be leery of a lot of stuff you watch on TV. I mean, some of it is, I don't know. I don't want to go into the detail of it, but you know, they could lead you wrong.
Yeah. But this isn't TV.
That's right.
This is the Honky Talk podcast, baby. It's the truth. Nothing but the truth.
Hey, Trey, you got any funny stories about you and me hanging out? that are suitable?
That are suitable for the show. every single, I'll tell you, every single story that we have together is suitable for the show, Dane. 100%. We have been good boys on the road. But I will say, I do have a really cool story that when we went down to Lake Charles.
Oh, yeah.
We're in this 2008 Tahoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're headed down to play a couple of casinos down here at Le Berge and the Golden Nugget. And we're trucking down. We load up the Tahoe. It's got an oil leak. It's got a power steering leak. No telling what else. We've replaced a bunch of stuff on it, but we had to stop for oil a couple of times maybe. And but we made it. We made it all the way down from Ruston all the way down to Lake Charles, Louisiana. But it was just a cool experience. But like, we finally make it down there to these casinos, and then it was like my first experience with like getting like hotels and stuff, and it was just like that just doesn't happen, you know. Like I'm used to sleeping on like the side of the road or truck stops or on the floor with Monty. Yeah,
I'll tell you when you're on the road, you can stop at a truck stop, take a shower, and just sleep in your truck.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
So it was a cool experience, but it was just funny, like the situations that we get in, like with all of our vehicle issues, or like, I mean, it's just like road stories, you know what I'm saying?
Well, man, and the honest truth of that is like, it's all about adversity and your ability to deal with those things. And a lot of people would give up a lot faster. Like, for example, when I was flying down here, I had 3 venues in Canada that owed me money, names not to be mentioned, that all swore they were going to pay me before I flew down. So I wake up at 3:30 in the morning to catch my flight, and I hadn't got a single paycheck. And I hadn't been working or nothing, playing a few gigs, you know, for about 25 days before I came down here. I got 170 Canadian dollars in my bank account. Had a big blowout with my friend that was supposed to drive me to the airport the night before due to none other than alcohol. And so I get up, I got to catch a cab, that's $40. Then I get to the airport, and my bag's 25 pounds overweight because I'm traveling internationally, I want my stuff. And I was like, well, they're like, it's going to be $200 to get your bag on the plane. I have $108 or something like that.
Damn, why didn't you text us? I'd send you some money.
Trust me.
Yeah, geez, now, thanks, bro.
I texted a few people, but it's 3:30 in the morning, right?
I'm always up usually.
That's when you go to bed.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I start rummaging through my bag. I'm looking through like my shower kit. I got a few other things. I'm like, man, well, how much do I got to get down to $100? They're like, only 5 pounds. So I throw up 5 pounds of stuff, get it on there.
You should have threw out that bag, and then you probably would have had been less 5 pounds.
Yeah.
He's a law-abiding citizen.
Easy. And so then I landed Dallas Fort Worth with $12 in my bank account. And I sent a screenshot to the venue owners, and I say, you sons of a guns, just so you know, I'm in Dallas Fort Worth with $12. And boom, the money started coming in. Thank you so much, everybody who did get squared up with me. And
what did they Venmo, like digitally pay you?
Yeah.
Well, okay, well, let me ask you this. What day did you fly in?
I flew in on the 9th.
Well, what day is that?
Wednesday.
Well, it takes like a couple of days, Dane, to get the money transferred.
No, not in Canada because we have what's called
Or if it's Venmo. Venmo's instant.
Yeah, we don't use Venmo. We have
They don't let me do instant.
we have a government regulated internet transfer deal. So it's
we have that too.
Every time I'm Venmo'd, it's instantaneously right there.
I think it's because I have a business account. Okay, I didn't know that. Makes sense. Go ahead. I was sorry.
And while I'm still on the note here talking about Canada,
Canada.
so I've been so lucky. You guys, all 3 of you and many others have helped me out. You know, getting gigs, recording, writing, places to live. And in my heart, I just want to pay that forward. So the whole time I was back home, everyone I met, I was like, hey, I need to start booking gigs in Canada and bringing my boys up, but we need a big budget to cover the flights, right?
Yeah.
And so I had my first opportunity here. It's going to be the end of June 19th, at the 5th biggest rodeo in the world. And they gave me a budget which will allow me to fly Trey Gotro up. And him and I are going to be playing the 5th biggest rodeo, hopefully Thursday, Friday night. And then we're going to be doing a charity event on the Sunday for Rowan's House, which takes care of abuse victims.
So you don't have enough money for me and Mr. Bo Atkins?
Well, this is just the start, because when they get a taste of Mr. Gotro, they're going to be
They're
like,
gonna want
who else do you know? Who else do you know?
Gotro to both bows.
Hey, Gotro to both bows. Hey, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. But hey, I just got to say, man,
That's awesome.
This guy's going international. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
That's
a
it.
wonder he's not famous right now, too, Trey Gotro. First time
Well-
I heard him sing, I was like, holy crap. It don't matter what, he could be on a, can I say shitty on here?
Yeah.
He could be on a shitty-ass PA and sound like the radio.
Oh, thank you, man. No,
Bo
it's,
Atkins, too. Bo Atkins' voice is
yeah.
like Southern rock.
Oh,
too,
stop,
too.
girl, stop.
Stop,
He-
stop,
he's
girl.
great.
No, it's awesome, and
That is great. Congrats to
yeah.
that. Good work. Good work.
Yeah, good word.
But the first time I met Bo Atkins, I think I met him before, but at your CD release party in Shreveport.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that was your wife sitting next to me. I was at the bar, and I
Hitting
turned
on
over
her.
to somebody, and I go, damn, he looks like Willie from Duck Dynasty. Because he had that long hair and the bandana. I thought it was Willie. No, I'm joking.
Hey, that's a cool thing that if there's any Canadian listeners or watchers, but I want you guys to talk a little bit. Like, we live in the heart of Duck Dynasty country, do we not?
Right-
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
right.
30-something minutes down the road.
I'd say from Vivian, I think he was born in Vivian, which is northwest Louisiana above Shreveport.
Okay.
And then he went to Tech, played football. Yep. And if
Yeah,
y'all
he
ever heard
played
of
with
Terry Bradshaw.
Harry Bradshaw. Yeah.
And he was a quarterback.
What other kind of like absolute international celebrities come from this area? There's a whole bunch of
There's a
them.
whole lot of them.
And
Miss Lainey
music, there's
Wilson.
more than you can name.
All right, well, let's go.
But Phil, years ago, Phil Robertson, my uncle was a taxidermist in Bastrop. So when I was a kid, they were friends back then, and he has pictures with him. And my uncle also built the hat for all my rowdy friends. Hank Williams Jr. He had pictures with it, or
Oh, wow.
all of that stuff when he fell off the mountain. He's got a picture with him doing all the taxidermy and all that kind of stuff, like the hat band and the snakeskin belt.
Yeah.
He did all that.
That's incredible.
It was Streeter Taxidermy back then. He's 90, probably almost 98 years old, probably right now. I like to kick a shout out to him.
Hey, God bless.
Well, as far as country music goes, well, they're good. Well, Hank Jr. was born in Bossier City, Louisiana, or Shreveport.
Yeah,
And
he's got a daughter from Marouge over there.
Yeah.
Holly.
Yeah, and he and then he talks about his dad being from Alabama or whatnot. That's from a North Louisiana area. Trace Atkins is
Yep, Trace Atkins.
You got Tracy Lawrence.
Tracy Lawrence,
He was from over here.
Tim McGraw,
Tim
Yeah.
McGraw.
Was it Brooks and Dunn?
Kicks,
Kicks
Brooks.
Kicks Brooks. Yeah, Kicks Brooks.
and he's from Shreveport, lived in
Yeah.
Spring Lake,
Yeah.
and it was in the same neighborhood as his buddy. I don't know. I guess they were friends. Yeah, they're about the same
Laney
age.
Wilson.
Laney
Yeah,
Wilson. Hey, she ain't bad to look at her with her bell bottom country.
If you get down south, was that
Sounds
Richard
pretty good,
LaBeouf? Empty Glass.
Oh yeah.
Richard LaBeouf.
How about
Wayne Toops.
Wayne Toops? How about Dylan?
Dylan Scott.
Dylan
Dylan
Scott.
Scott.
Dylan Scott.
But we
Yeah.
like to talk about Wayne Toops right now.
Oh, yeah,
Trey
let's talk a
covered.
little. I want to hear about your
Yeah.
Wayne Toops story. This is a damn good story.
Yeah, it's a really good story, man. So I decided on my album I did it back in 21 to cover one of his songs. It was my parents' wedding song, and it's a very popular song down in South Louisiana. It's called "Take My Hand," and he recorded that in 1996 in Lafayette on the Vermilion River at Dockside Studio. And because I'm through Monty Russell and all his connections and networking, I was actually gifted the opportunity to go record this cover song with Wayne at that same studio. So, we're thinking like year 21, 2021 is when we went down there to Dockside and met with Wayne, and he got to do the accordion on it. And it was just so cool to, like, when we drive up, it's like right on the river. And I'm from South Louisiana, so it's just like, it just reminded me of home. And like as soon as I walked in that studio, it's just, you can just tell like it's just warm and very like homey. And
So Wayne did the
yeah. So
all that on there?
yeah, I go in there. We get kind of like the rundown. Wayne shows up. You know, we meet and greet. He's a awesome guy. Very kind. Super genuine. And so we meet up. He listens to the track. He goes in the recording booth, lays down the accordion a couple times, all the way through. We got it good. We go out for pizza afterwards. He treats everybody, and you know, and it's basically like, yeah, let me know if you need anything, man. And he really means it. Like,
He ends up being like Uncle Wayne or something.
That's right.
The story I heard was that
what did he say about your song, like your cover of it?
Oh, he loved it. No, he loved the country version of it. Yeah.
what I heard was he took every dollar that he was paid to do the recording session and spent it on pizza. And
Oh
beer
yeah,
for
no, he
you and
did.
the
No,
band.
he did. He did.
Yeah.
No, that's a story.
Wayne
'cause,
Toots is pretty famous.
I've
in
heard he's
Louisiana.
one of the most generous souls.
Yeah.
And,
But
and
it's
that's
true.
all through all Louisiana too, especially that "Take My Hand" song, Trey. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds
thank you.
great.
Yeah, thank you.
And it was such a great song because I've had through the years there is a difference between like North Louisiana and South Louisiana, and also there's a little section of Middle Louisiana you'd have, but it doesn't matter. He crosses over all walks of life, and I think with Wayne Toops, his big thing was he kind of brought Cajun Zydeco music.
Into the mainstream.
Yeah, he was able to kind of relate that back, like with "Take My Hand." It wasn't all done in Cajun French or something.
Yeah,
He wasn't
right.
all done in that. He was done in English too, and he
Yeah.
had the music behind it. Really,
Yeah.
it was able to market that out.
He's a true outlaw too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You just
for
have
sure.
to look up his story. Look up Wayne Toops and his story.
It's amazing, and it's all true. It's all true. But it was kind of funny. He was telling me one of the stories that like one of the first time when he was coming up and playing these like festivals and stuff, he would dress in like these '90s jump tracksuit and like and some he's just in this crazy get up. And he's like this famous guy. I forgot his name, but he looked at him and said, "Man," he's like, "if you're gonna get up there and you dress like that," he's like, "you got to be good." So
You got to walk the walk,
Yeah.
talk the talk.
he's like, "You're gonna be good."
Well, to
So,
go back to Louisiana, guy Dane, what you're talking about from this area, I guess, this region. We talk about, most people talk about all the people that are famous because they're the ones who recorded the song or whatnot.
Sure.
But there's so many writers
Yeah.
that come from here, like this area. I mean,
oh yeah,
Tim McGraw's, but
that's right.
Blake Griffith out of DeSoto Parish. Shout Hallelujah, but he was a writer on that.
Yeah,
Wow.
You had
Who was that?
Blake Griffith,
Break. Yeah.
and then you had Forrest Whitehead out of Blanchard area. He wrote the song. Was it Kelsey Ballerini's Peter Pan or something like that?
Oh, wow.
He was on that song. He wrote that, And you never know. These people don't know. We're just talking about just modern day. I say current.
Sure.
I guess kind of current now, but because music changed so fast, moves. But and it was like Stan Paul Davis or what's Dylan LeBlanc's dad's name? And he's in Muscle Shoals now. Monty goes and writes with him.
Oh, James
Oh,
LeBlanc.
James.
James LeBlanc, he's a Shreveport native.
Yeah,
I'm thinking there's people up there now, or just people from this area
yeah.
that are up there.
well, like the guys that we regularly work with.
Chris
it's like
Canterbury.
Chris Canterbury.
Yeah, I've
written a lot of
Mondo
songs
Sons.
with Chris.
yeah.
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 We all have, I think.
Mondo
so-
writes for Miranda Lambert. And,
Yeah,
and all
Mondo.
kinds of people.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of cuts and
Yeah.
stuff, and then even in Ruston with the old rap scene, and even the Sundown being as
Yeah, the sun,
historic,
the sun,
really,
the
as it
sun,
is.
This is actually the moment I knew I wanted to stay here.
This is the best dive bar you can ever come to.
Was because of the sundown. I was walking down Main Street and with Monty Russell, and he goes, "Well, this isn't the Sundown's original location, but the original Sundown
But
is
they've
where
been here over 40
some years. But the original Sundown is where Stevie Ray Vaughan used to frequent when he came through.
The-
Now,
the-
I'm a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. I used to fall asleep listening to his records every single night. And when I heard that, it was the first bar in my life that anybody had ever said, this is where Stevie Ray Vaughan used to hang out. And I said, man, let's go. And at that time, it was closed, wasn't open. Nobody knew if it was going to reopen, but the sign was still there and the building was there. And look, here we are now.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Living
right.
it up.
And all they did was revamp
We've
it.
all
That's
played here for years.
And hell, Dale Watson's played in here. Not too long, probably about a year. Was it about a year and a half, maybe a year ago or something?
It
Dale
was
Watson
before
came
they
in?
reopened.
Before they reopened. And look, guys, all they did with the Sundown is they got new owners, of course, and they're doing a great
Heath
job.
Hightower and the Hightower family.
There you
Seth
go.
Hightower.
All they did was just revamp it. I mean, they didn't change. All they did was clean everything up
Cleaned it up.
and just fixed a toilet or something. I mean, literally, or just like power wash the floor.
All right.
I mean, it all looks the same.
They redid the whole kitchen too.
Yeah, they got a brand new kitchen, and when you look at the bar area though, it's the same setup.
Yep.
I used to come in here. I used to come in here with flip flops on, and Bella, the bartender, she would be like,
He still got flip flop. I've never seen him in shoes.
I got flip flops on. Yeah, summertime I don't wear flip
You got
flops.
flip flops on right now, don't you?
So I come in here, my feet stuck to the floor, and it ripped my. It tore. It actually stuck so bad that it tore the foot thong part out.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm walking over here. I'm like, damn. And then Bella goes, you just tore up your flip flop. I was like, yeah. So I walk out to the truck. I was like, I got a spare pair. So
You gotta have a spare
Do
pair.
y'all wear flip flops in Canada?
You know what we do, but
It's
only,
too cold
only
in
about
Canada.
2 months of the
2
year.
months of the year. Y'all can't wait to put them
We,
on.
we
You're
get
like,
like your springtime Louisiana heat. That's what we get in the summertime.
Summertime.
really?
Yeah,
That's
so
what I was about
this
to
weather
ask.
right now, we like when I take Trey up there, that's what it'll be like. It'll be
75, 80?
75 to 90. Yeah.
That ain't bad.
No, it's gorgeous, but
Yeah.
you only get it for about 60, sometimes 90 days a year.
is it humid?
No, it's dry.
How do y'all do the winters there?
Well, I attribute the winters to I attribute the winters to actually a lot of my creative.
I guess you're raised
traits.
there, so it's
but
easier.
it's a very reflective, isolating time of the year. It's so cold, people aren't going out, so you end up at home. You got food, water, beer, coffee, and you're with your family.
What if you don't? What if you don't get out in time to get enough beer?
Yeah, well, that don't happen. Yeah.
When there's a will, there's a way.
But I tell you, like we'll open the door sometimes, and there'll be snow so high that you gotta spend an hour shoveling yourself out of your house. Yeah, and it'll be so cold, like in high school and stuff. Like every year, there's some poor kid that got too drunk and passed out in a snowbank, and he'd have, his fingers would all be frozen, and it's dangerous to party in the wintertime. But nothing tastes better when it's freezing cold out than
I
a
don't
bottle
know.
of Fireball or some.
Whiskey tastes good in the wintertime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got to.
Well, look, guys, on that note, I know we're running short on time, but look, I just want to say thank you, Dane, for coming on the HonkyTalk podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for watching in. I hope you guys have enjoyed all of the stories. Would you guys like to end on anything?
All
Yeah.
I would like to say is how much I appreciate Dane, his music, and coming back home to jam with us. It's a pleasure to jam with him any time of the day. And if people out there haven't seen Dane, y'all come see him and Trey or whoever he's playing with, solo, Trey, us. It don't matter. Y'all come see him. Go see Trey Gotro. Go see Bo Atkins, one of my best friends right here. Go see me.
And Bo Smith.
Hey, thank you guys so much. I just want to say one more thing. If you guys feel obliged to, I'd love to have your support online. You can find me at Dane Von Hagen on Instagram, Facebook. I don't currently have any music available, working on that, but you can follow my journey on social media. Also, Mr. Trey Gotro is at Trey Gotro. You got Mr. Bo Smith at Bo Smith. And last but not least, the wonderful Bo Atkins at _Bo_Atkins_music. And don't forget to follow the Honky Talk podcast because I know these guys got a bunch more fun coming down the pipe. Thank you.
It's honkies with a kick.